Hey, I'm Seth, and I wanted to share how I've created a personal productivity dashboard using Notion and how I've connected it with important apps that I use on the daily, like Todoist, Gmail, and Slack, to help you kind of organize your life and give you kind of a single source of truth for all the tasks that you need to work on, and how you can connect those to projects that you're kind of ongoing and doing throughout your week. And, kind of have that single place to go to reference everything rather than a bunch of disparate apps with different requirements and different things saved in all these different places. So that way you can really just organize and consolidate everything into a single view and, just get more work done. So to get started, we're going to jump into Notion. Let's open a new page, which I've already done here in Notion. Once that's created, just create this and call it like, um, I'm going to call this new personal dashboard. Not super important, like name it anything you want, but this is kind of how I'm going to go. And then come over here, hit that plus icon. You can scroll down, you can see everything on this list, right? But we want to come down and we want to create a database under this new personal dashboard. Um, and we want to name that something to do with your tasks, like your all task view, right? That's important because this will be kind of the single place that we put all of our tasks in. I'll show you how we kind of start linking these out in the future. Um, but right now, we'll just create this title, task name. This, I'm going to actually switch to projects. That way I can identify what projects they're supposed to be on. That'll come in handy in the future when we start hitting up different types of filters, and then we'll just do date, or do. You can say that too. I'll actually switch it to do, and we'll just start with that. That's simple enough. Actually, one thing I forgot in order to actually um, complete the item, you want to have a status in here. So when I come down, hit that checkbox. So that way we can see, is it done? Is it not done? That's helpful. You can even move it to the front here, just so, people kind of feel like, it's nice to have that status up front, feels like you're marking it off. But this is generally kind of the flow I like to choose. So I like to obviously give it a name, decide what project it's for, and then set some sort of due date. I'll show you more about that in a minute, but we'll just create a few blank tasks. So the first one, we'll say take out the trash, right? I'm just going to make these general, and we could just call this home or personal, and we could say we need to do that today, right? And then maybe you've got something that came up from work. So read last Slack message thread, and we can call that work. And then let's say we're going to do that tomorrow. That's important. And then maybe you do some freelance stuff on the side. So create outline and then client one. We'll call that client one. This will, again, we're just working with some general stuff here, but now you've got kind of just a simple default task list, right? This is really helpful because then what I like to do is I like to come in here, go back to the full dashboard view, and create a table view. And I'm going to say new all task view here, and then I'm going to hit it um, with a filter. I'm going to filter by due date, and we're just going to say today. And that way you can see just what needs to be done today, right? And this makes it really easy to. We're actually going to hide the title to clean this up a little bit. This makes it really easy to just kind of make this the single place that you come to see all of your tasks. This isn't unlike any other task list really out there, but I like to use this as kind of like a personal dashboard so I can see the today stuff, and then I can create other views like maybe a week view, and I like to create specific views too. So like maybe there's just a really important project I'm working on right now, and um, I need that to be seen down here. Good example of this is like OKRs for work, right? If you have like a certain goal that you're trying to hit for work, it's really nice to be able to see these goals kind of on the regular, right? Kind of bring them up and remind yourself. Maybe it's a PR that you want to hit for a certain workout you're doing at the gym. Maybe it's a certain financial goal. Sometimes I like to see just these things like highlighted here all the time. So now that you've created this view, maybe that's just something that you target for like specific use cases like goals. But then what you can also do is say you want to create like a new page, right? So you have this page for all your tasks. Maybe you want a different page And this could be, let's add a title here, projects. I'll make that bold. Actually, it might even be more helpful instead of just bold, like maybe throw that on a heading 1. And then you can come down here and add a new page. This page can be a project, so we'll call this client 1. Let's say this is a freelance project, right? And I'll just make this an empty page, right? And then we can just plop another table view. So if you just hit the slash and then start typing table view, this will link to a database, right? Go to that all tasks view again. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start filtering, and we're going to just do client 1. Now you can see all the tasks due for client 1. What's cool is if you need to, give yourself some more visual indications, you come down here and add some sort of like maybe conditional formatting to show like things that are overdue for that client or whatever. And then what's really nice is with Notion, this kind of gives you the ability to keep like dropping in pages, right? So let's say this is for a website. I do some web design things on the side. So maybe for this project, this would be a site outline for that customer, right? Or that client. So now I could see that site outline here. I can see the tasks that are due. And then maybe I need to um, add another meeting, or a reminder to schedule a meeting for the site outline. So we want to have that reviewed, and I want to schedule that on the 26th, right? Now I can see, hey, here in order, like I need to have that outline created. I need to schedule that meeting, and then I can see my outline here. This has proven to be really, really helpful for me, right? This is like the core of like how I've started to work on all my projects for life and for work. Um, this way, if you have many plates spinning, many projects ongoing, you kind of want to know like what the status is of those projects, what the next thing to do is, and you want to be able to see that at a high level, right? So if you come in here, you can see this at a very, very high level. Sometimes what I like to do is just move this like to the very top, so it's the first thing that I see. And then I could also move like projects, could just be its own kind of section down here. That way it's just kind of a little bit more organized. So you can see kind of your important things, like your primary task list here for today. That today view, you've got a couple different things happening in a couple different places. And then you can see, what that project is, and then go down and click on projects, go right to it, right? And then dive back into the thing you're working on. And this is really helpful. Um, at least for me, like I'm a dad, so it feels like a lot of times I am, doing a lot of different things, right? I might be going from work to like going picking up a kid, one of my boys, or something at preschool. So like while I'm driving there, I might have an idea, something I need a place to capture those things, kind of continually be updating the statuses of things, and just kind of like building that kind of collective knowledge base on how this project is going, what needs to be done to complete it. And this really gives me a way to see both what needs to be done and what's going on for each of the projects that are kind of in the air right now and spinning. But the one downfall of this personal dashboard is, you can see right here, it can be slow, right? Notion is not always the quickest thing in the world. And Notion as a app on your phone is definitely not a quick way to capture things. Just full stop, not quick. That's okay, because we can get around this. So we're going to open up Zapier, and we're going to start just basically a completely new Zap. Right now, I've got this set up with Todoist, because Todoist happens to be extremely quick, but Todoist is really hard to gain like the full context of a project on. So really great for task lists, not so great for collecting and organizing all of your thoughts. Like the site outline example, right? Where's a site outline going to fit in Todoist? Maybe as a PDF, but you can't go in and edit that, right? That's not easy to just hop into and edit, even when you're on the go, maybe sitting on your phone, doing something on your iPad, whatever. Those aren't easy to jump back into from Todoist, but it's very easy to log a task in Todoist. And with Zapier, we can take that task and put it on our all task list in Notion. So we're gonna go through, and I'll just kind of walk you through like how I've set this one up. New incomplete task. This is important. It's kind of backwards when you think about the way it's said, but when you add a task to Todoist, it's not complete, so it's waiting for you to complete it. And then I've got my account information in here, and then I'm going to go in here and hit new dashboard, right? This is what I want to use. So I've set this up in Todoist already. I'll take you to that in a second. But the goal here is that you've got new dashboard ready to go, and you hit continue. And then there should already be something on that list. So we're going to test that trigger and just make sure it can find something. So unfortunately, I couldn't find an event. So we're going to add one here, testing. And now that we've got that added, we can add that onto the list. Now we can go back to where we were, and we're going to test this trigger again. Great, it found it. That's awesome. So now that that test was successfully logged, we're going to come in here and we're going to connect this to Notion. So once you come in here, we'll create a database item, right? That's essentially a row on that list. We'll continue, connect this to your personal account, hit continue, and now we're going to set up that action. So now that it's referencing a database, new all task view is what we're going to choose. So that was the database that we created. And then here, if you click on this, it will start to pull in the fields that can be seen in Todoist. So the other cool thing they do is like this just says content, but this actually references the task that I put in, so testing. So if you have information you want to capture, like maybe it's a date, maybe it's even a label, labels could potentially be assigned to a project. So you could even like get really specific with all of this and really get that table like fully automated. We're going to go in here and say for this, status is, I'm just going to leave status alone. Shouldn't change. It should just say, yeah, because it's a little bit weird with the two selections here. I'm going to leave that alone. We're just going to try that out. And then no dates, no projects, like, right, it can see the projects here. But that would dump everything into that specific project field. Don't want to do that. So we're going to hit this and we're going to test this and continue. So we're going to see if it sent that. And a database item was sent to Notion about a second ago. So then we're going to come over here, hit refresh. Oh, there it is, already on there. So now what I like to do is, let's say I've been out and about for the day. We went on a walk, got in the car, remembered a couple things I need to add. I added them to Todoist, right? They just dropped them on the list. That's it, I'm done. I'm not going to think about them again, but I know that they're in a safe place to where I can take action on them the next day. So now when I come back, new day is here. Sometimes I'll create a view where I can show like, hey, if project or due date is unassigned or blank, then I want to see those as like kind of a triage thing. Or hit this list with conditional formatting so that if a project or date isn't selected, then it highlights in red. Right now, obviously, the list is very short. I'm not going to worry about configuring those things at this moment, but I can see that testing needs applied. So we're going to hit that again with the client one, and we'll assign a date, just as if it were a real thing, right? Now we can go back here to personal dashboard, go down to projects, and now I can see that client one. I'm still working on that site outline. But I did get the meeting scheduled, so I can, kind of move this off the list. Sometimes what's nice too is to edit this and you can sort it so that, checked off items appear at the bottom of the list rather than where they do in the list. And then this is kind of showing by date. So it's really helpful. So you can kind of see like over time, like here's all the work that I've completed for the project and here's what's upcoming and what's next. And then you can keep working on individual items like that site outline. You can even reference that with a link to the actual thing that you need to accomplish. So let's say it's create that outline or finish the outline. You could link to this page, so you could just pop it open in your view and just keep working on it. But for me, this proved really, really helpful and really valuable. The other thing I like to do as well is connect if we go back in here, so I'll publish this and publish and turn on. So now it will just start working as I want it to, which is great. And then we'll go back. You can name it anything you want. That's fine. But and then what's really nice is you can come in here and you can see. So a lot of these same principles apply to Coda as well, just because of how similar Coda and Notion work together. Right now, I'm using Notion for my personal space, for my personal things. I'm using Coda for work because that's what my organization has chosen to use. So I set this up to work with Gmail, Slack, and Todoist. So I have just essentially a new project in Todoist created just for work. Anything I capture there goes to my list. In Slack, what you can do is select the save button as your trigger to add something to your task in Coda. So it runs the same way. but it just captures that saved item, pops it in the list. Really helpful. And then Gmail as well, whenever you star an item, it pops up in your list too. So if there's an important email you need to reply to or whatever, that just puts it in the list too. And again, going back to the important thing, like I know you could set a reminder in Slack. I used to do this. I know you can snooze a message in Gmail. I used to do this as well. But that means all of the things that you need to remember to do are still spread out and in different places. My goal here was to bring them all in and put them in one place and organize them so that way they could be easier for me to use and take action on and find. Um, and the other side of it too is like, even if I do capture that email, what's it related to, right? It's just an email in Gmail. But if I can relate that and put it into a project folder, let's say it's an expense that I had them email me the receipt from a stay that I did when I traveled. Now I've got that. I can actually add that to my client project as, hey, now you have a place where you can easily go and find and reference that expense that you need to log and send back to the customer. So that's kind of how I've been thinking about this. Hopefully this was helpful. If you appreciate it, let me know in the comments, and I'll actually include a link to a more robust version of this kind of template that I just kind of showed you how I make. This is obviously bare bones, but I'll share like a more a little built out version of this that you can copy as well in the Notion template gallery. So if you like this, let me know. Just hit thumbs up or leave me a comment. And if you have like other things that you do, maybe there's better ways to build this or think about it. I'd love to hear them because I'm always kind of like tinkering and tweaking how I kind of organize all my projects and keep everything moving forward. And, task lists are really helpful, but that's not the end all be all. And, Gmail, snooze notifications or reminders, really helpful, not the end all be all. Those types of things just feel like stopgaps to like a more complete solution. That's what I'm trying to do here. So hopefully this is a more complete solution for you. And if it is, yeah, let me know in the comments. Obviously, again, I'll have that link down there too. So you can download, you could just skip all this if you want to, or if you enjoy it, whatever, hang around. But yeah, if you want to download that, you can do so in the comments below as well. So thanks.